see the person's face, you can't see their hair, there's no identifying features. What I am so encouraged by is how clear these photos are. This is not surveillance. When we first heard about reporting that they had photos, we were thinking it might have been surveillance from the surrounding area that would show a grainy picture from afar. This is from the home, so that we know that this person who they've identified or described as a subject is in fact what I would call a suspect. The photographs are very, very clear, and someone is going to recognize this person. They're going to recognize the clothing, they're going to recognize the gloves, they're going to recognize the mask. This is very powerful evidence, not only in furthering the investigation, but potentially at a trial, and I'm very encouraged by it.
So, I mean, how remarkable is it that they managed, the FBI that is, to dig these images off of what Sanders said were back-end systems? I mean, this really is sort of the difference between the Pima County Sheriff and federal law enforcement, that they were able to glean these images. And as you point out, I mean, the camera appears to be, I've got the same camera, it appears to be in night vision mode, and has managed to snap off some remarkably clear pictures of this person of interest. So, Josh, I mean, what a technical feat the FBI has managed to pull off here.
Absolutely amazing. You're right. When this was first described to us, we were told that the camera had been disconnected, that there was no subscription service, and that there was no video to recover, and full stop. As if this were a dead-in-the-water lead and there was nothing to be done with it. And they did not stop there. They continued to dig. And again, he describes it as residual data located in back-end systems, meaning they had to go somewhere in the haystack of information and find this one needle here, and it's proving to be incredibly powerful. And to a point that you made earlier, we're also learning something about the person who committed this crime, because they did come prepared. They came with a backpack. They came with gloves. They came masked up. They knew to look for a camera.
All right, you're watching coverage now. Big break in the case of the search for Nancy Guthrie, Savannah Guthrie's mother, Savannah Guthrie, the anchor on NBC's Today Show. Law enforcement releasing these images of a masked person walking up to Nancy Guthrie's home. You can see their face is covered with a mask. They are wearing gloves. They apparently removed the camera, the Nest camera that was mounted outside Nancy Guthrie's home, and authorities say they had to get residual data just to retrieve these images
from back-end systems. So, and Andre, you and I were just talking about this. So, those of us who have these cameras know that it records onto the cloud.
Yeah.
So why were those initial images taken away? In other words, these people are sophisticated enough to erase the original images, and the FBI had to use their data specialists to go back to what they call back-end systems at Google, which owns Nest, and get these images somehow. And they did, and that's a huge development.
If that's the case, that takes this case, to me, you know,
it's a lot more sophisticated.
It's a lot more sophisticated than just to say, I mean, obviously, this has been going on for 8 days and still no word.
Right.
We get these random messages for Bitcoin to be deposited into account for the return of Nancy Guthrie, who has ongoing health issues. We've seen the pleas from Savannah Guthrie and her siblings for the return of their mother. The plea, the sadness on their faces, it's really been tough to watch, because you just think about your own mother and you think about what this woman is going through in the search for her mother, and the massive search that's underway right now. And you're wondering who could be behind something like this, kidnapping a woman that's 85 years old with heart issues.
And you know, kidnapping is something that really scares a lot of people, right? Because anyone who's of notoriety, and not just media people, but anybody who's notoriety has family members, you worry about that kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm just beginning to wonder, Andre, quite frankly, if this is absolutely related to Savannah Guthrie's high-profile anchor job.
I wonder that myself, and you know, I shudder to think if that's the case. Now, authorities are, believe it or not, calling the person in this video a potential suspect, but it does not mean that the person is an actual suspect in this investigation.
I mean, let's be honest. Who wears a mask like this and comes up to the door, right? I mean, whoever this person is up to no good. You're wearing a mask like this, coming up to someone's door in Tucson, Arizona.
And if you're naming them a potential suspect, that means authorities might be